Looks like the perfect spot to do some FPL video slagging you off. Hello everybody, welcome to this impromptu video, which is now, I'll be honest with you, I'll be completely transparent, this is now the third take. So I did one which was in my car, which was I was off-putted by a phone call. So that turned out to be an absolute waste of 10 minutes of my life, of my pointless existence. Then I did a video here, 20 minutes. Again, as I was walking around, I was thinking, yeah, I was a bit aggressive in that video, wasn't I? So now, this is the take 3. Keep that bit in. Sat here in the same spot, which I was 20 minutes ago, to then talk about the same subject matter, but maybe in a less aggressive manner. But this spot here specifically is superb. Yeah, so the video entitled Time to Take a Step Away, and it's kind of inspired by Shane aka FPL Veteran's post on X regarding is FPL on the downfall? Now the simple answer is no. The game itself is more popular than ever. It's got nearly 11 million players. Such twaddle, that absolute nonsense that is. There's 11 million accounts, but players? No, we all know those numbers aren't real, so to speak. But certainly there are at least, of that 11 million, as I've discussed to death, say 3 million, 4 million, let's even say 5 million, which play the game. And of that 5 million, probably 1 million take it very seriously. And when I say very seriously, I mean losers like me and you that consume shite like this and listen/watch FPL content which is advising you to make decisions about whomever. And the nuts and crux of Shane's post was, as he puts it, TBF. It was simply about how the community has it lost its soul, and what does it bring anymore, and is the community kind of dying off? And I personally agree with a particular profile that put a comment on his post, and it was words to the effect of, you know, with the saturation of content out there, and not just YouTube or podcasting, but things like X posts and threads, Blue Sky, fuck me. There's an overwhelming amount for whomever to consume. You know, I'm one of those few people which I could not give a flying fuck about social media, in the sense of I'm not somebody, like a lot of people, desperate to be seen and heard. You know, I'll do a tin pot video like this, and proxy video where I'll chat absolute shite into a mobile phone camera about a subject matter which has kind of hit home, and because of my content creation addiction, I want to address it on video. But other than that, I don't vent about anything or whatnot. The only thing I use is X, which people may or may not be aware, and all I do is just upload videos from the office that I find funny. That's it. Maybe if I'm watching the bill, which I can't anymore because YouTube's removed it all, I'll upload a video from the bill, a scene from the bill that has chuckled me or made me chuckle. But when it comes to FPL, I have, as I've stated a billion times before, I've muted 95% of FPL accounts that I follow. And to be completely frank, it's because they just spam the shit out of my news feed about things I literally do not care about. As my uncle once said, social media nowadays is just an advertising platform for people just to tell you what they've done or how well they're doing, rather than what I've always said social media should be about, which kind of links me into what Shane was saying, which is just connecting with one another, conversing with one another. It's kind of lost its soul in that way, and I think you could argue that's the same case for FPL in a way. I think that FPL nowadays, specifically from a content creating point of view, is just about how big's my dick. Look at it. I'm swinging it from left to right to left to right. Look how big it is. Great. Is he going to show me anything of interest? No, right, okay. I'm going to tell you what to do because I'm at this rank. I'm so good at this game, you need to listen to every single word I say, and I'm going to get a load of people bound before me doing exactly as I do. And because of this, I think it injects itself into so many people's thought processes where they don't know how to think for themselves, to be honest with you. I think certainly the game itself has lost that. I think that there's so many people that are consuming content, in this specific case to do with FPL, that they're not thinking for themselves. And a lot of the stuff that people consume now is just, like I state, it's look at my thread. I've done a 15-page thread on why Crystal Palace assets are so good to own in double game week 32. These are the best 3 double game week 32 Newcastle assets to own. Here's why. And it's not just one profile, it's hundreds of them. And then if that one profile by chance picks that one differential, I don't know, Joe Linton, Guimaraes, fuck's sake, Jacob Murphy, that may come through with a double-digit haul, whereas all the popular picks don't. All these zombies just follow. Got to follow because they know what they're talking about, because they've used every option in the book and they've just gone, yeah, there we go. It'd be like the equivalent of me saying, I'm an amazing score predictor because I've just reeled off my give or take expectations of this match and I've got that one result right out of 5. You know, like with England, I said to Dan, England are one of the most easiest teams to score predict. Specifically against teams like Albania or Latvia, it's going to be anywhere between 1 and 3-0. How did both games end? Yep, you guessed it. 3-0. I'm so grateful I do not watch anything to do with England, because anything I have watched of the Albania or Latvia game, I have essentially wanted to do anything but watch it. It is so boring. In fact, I'll be completely frank, it got to the point where I was going on X on my laptop because I had to sort some crap out regarding whatever. I was going on X and I thought, oh, I'll just click on this grok. I don't even know why I clicked on grok. And it now is available to us. So I thought you had to pay for grok, but evidently not anymore. And I was just typing in from an interest point of view, just typing in opinions on Elite FPL, opinions on Total Stevo, and it generally comes up with, obviously it's all generated through, you know, what's been written on X, or predominantly X, about Elite FPL. Total Stevo takes aspects of the profile of those things, and certainly, you know, I found that quite interesting reading about Elite FPL and Total Stevo, and obviously it sends you then down a rabbit hole of, oh, I wonder what other content creators. I'll just type in, see what it says about them, and I did that. I mean, this is the kind of loser that you're watching right now. And about 5 minutes into this, and while this game's still going, I'm thinking, what the fuck am I doing? Turn this shit off. I'm getting out on a fucking walk, which I did. And come back home, say goodnight to my mum, because I'm not going into this bright room with this England game on. I see it was 1-0, so I'm just going to bed. Of course, wake up this morning, see what the score is. 3-0. Oh, what a surprise. Same as the Albanian game, ends 3-0, Spoke to Dan about it briefly. It confirms everything that I think, which is, it is the most dullest football imaginable. And so me saying 1-3-0, I could be like, I told you, said it'd be 3-0. Well, you said it'd be anywhere between 1-3-0. You didn't give us a definitive answer on that. But because you got 3-0 within those 6 options, well done to you. You know, like I always state about my predictions, I always make the point that whenever I do predictions, it's more based on an idea of where the score's going to land. It's not about me getting the exact score right. It's more about, look, this game is not going to be, you know, end-to-end goals galore. It's going to be one team sitting back and seeing if this team can break through, and because they've got this type of quality of play, you know, take Man City versus Southampton or whatever. Man City versus Plymouth. It's just a team sat back, and by one miracle chance they scored a goal, which was great. But, you know, it just ends up with just a team sitting back, and just by some chance they may get an opportunity to score, which again Plymouth did. But the inevitable happens. Was it 2-1, 3-1 it ended? I can't even remember. But it's just so... And I always just say about, like, when it comes to Man City Plymouth, for instance, I would have said something like, it's going to end up being 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, maybe 6. But if Plymouth put up a really, you know, strong defensive performance, you know, they may get lucky on a break, but unlikely, but they could score, but it's still going to end up being 3, 4, 5-1. Something like that. But the point being is that, going back to the FPL threads and whatnot, it's not really about engaging with the community. It's just, I'm telling you what to do, right? I'd love to know how many people actually read a thread verbatim, rather than just doing what I occasionally do, which is, if I ever do see a thread, skip to the bottom. What's the conclusion? Oh, right, okay. This poor sod has written a 50-page thread on why Arsenal aren't performing that well. Just skip to the end. And it will just say, my conclusions are... Thanks. I do feel, though, like with FPL, certainly now with the influx of social media that's taken over the planet, you know, it has made, you know, things that you enjoy doing, like in this specific case, FPL, just heightened more in our mindsets. Because anytime you open up X, it's just there in front of you. You know, some profiles put up if I was to wildcard this game week, this is what my team would be. This is what I'm thinking of doing with my free hit. Thoughts? I just want to write the word thoughts. Yeah, you're a cunt. That's what I want to write. But I don't want to get reported to the ex-police. Oh, can't be doing that. And like I state, it's the same in the gym world. Like, that's just turned over the last several years. It's just about, look at me, look how amazing I am in the gym. And again, it links into FPL. Look at how amazing I am at FPL. It's not like what Shane was saying about actually wanting to go to the gym for you or wanting to play FPL for you. It's about basically, look how amazing I am. You know, it's not about I want to interact with people. It's about how many clicks can I get on this post? How many poor profile sods can I get commenting on this so it gets pushed and pushed and pushed? Fucking hell. And I say it's the same in the gym world. I'm sure it's the same in any hobby that's just saturated with content. You know, isn't there that TV show on... There's no isn't there about it. There is. There's a TV show on BBC about chess. The advert, I just want to kill the people. Who are they? Like, not that I need to know who these people are, but you can just tell the way the format is. It's not about the chess game. It's about the people that are playing it. Got to be fake. It's just mental. And I do think that talks have a part to play in all of this. This whole thing regarding the world of FPL. I know Trigger Lips talks about talks a lot about this, about the good old days of FS Scout and how it was like, it did feel like a community feel, and how people did want to give genuine advice and whatnot, and it wasn't about, you know, being popular. It was literally about, oh, this person's asking about something, I've got some knowledge about this particular subject matter, why this player's good, why this player's bad, why you should bring this person in, here's my opinion. But like I say, it doesn't feel like that now. It's just I'm thinking of bringing in Munoz from Crystal Palace for double game week 32, here's why. Right. You know, like I state with any content out there, the majority of it is just my game week 30 transfer plans. Here's what I'm doing. It is just... And this is, I mean, it kind of... Something what FPL General was saying, funny enough, regarding people that are struggling with their... not just mental health, but just struggling with the game. And he makes the point about how it did kind of hit home for me, I'm not going to lie. It was about the fact that individuals that are basically like in my position, and it's a case of, oh, do we continue playing the game this year? Do we just stop? How do we just stop for a break and finish like that? Do we give up the game completely? If we do give up the game for one season, do we just come back with a different mindset, as he stated? And yeah, you know, all these things are logical, what he's saying, and it does genuinely, it is applicable to me. I'm not gonna lie. It is something which I have thought about over this season, where am I actually enjoying playing the game? And even content wise, like I said, I only do this shit to you know, to appease or whatever terminology it is regarding my content creation addiction. You know, it's like people with a porn addiction. Oh, can't be saying porn on YouTube. The porn addiction, you know, they have to get their fix somehow, or anybody with a gambling addiction or whatever, you know. It's, and for me, creating this stuff is an addiction. I'm not gonna beat about the bush, but certainly, you know, I do like talking about FPL. I've mentioned to Ray 100,000 times how it just frustrates me that he can't do the amount of content that I want him to do, or Shane's case, he can't do the amount of content I want him to do with me. But again, like with Jason's circumstances, it's a simple case of time. Our time is so restricted now with family and other things going on in life. It's just bordering on impossible to commit to talking about a hobby that you enjoy. As I just look at this incredible view. And that's definitely something I would miss if I was to stop playing FPL, is the content creating around it, talking absolute shite about, you know, again, double game week 32 and how what players me and Ray are going to bring in for a wild card team, you know, and you know, going back to it, these are the streams / videos I love doing, is just talking to a mate about something that we both enjoy. I've never, you know, there's people that have been following this Tin Pot channel for God knows how many years now would agree. I'm kind of proud at the fact that we're not about telling anybody what to do. You know, I'm perfectly fully aware that, unfortunately, of the amount of people that consume FPL content, I'd argue 90%. It's always about the 90s with you, Steve. 90% of that audience is just about, just tell me what to do. I don't care about any of this shit. I just care about you telling me what to do. Yeah, right, okay. And like with any market, isn't it? It's just like, again, we go back to the world of fitness. People don't want to hear about the life story of whomever. All they give a fuck about is just tell me how you get a six-pack. Just tell me how you get big arms. How do you get big legs? Don't ask me that. But certainly, you know, I find that going on that communication purposes with... Sorry, I'm just looking at that... Yeah, I'm a loser. I'm obsessed with looking at planes. But yeah, certainly I think the whole thing regarding discussions around talking FPL and whatnot, I genuinely do think it's lost its soul over the last few years. I mean, you know, hypocrite warning, you know, as I keep stating, life unfortunately has taken over our channel, where me and Jason can't get together enough as we want to, or you know, let's not beat about the bush here with our channel. Certainly the participation factor in it, for whatever reason, is just completely gone. And I know Jason addressed a lot of that in the Patreon podcast that he did with me a few months ago. And certainly, you know, when you start losing that feel and whatnot, and it does get tough. But me and Dan, I was talking to Dan about what do we call it, the whole thing regarding YouTube, and how you really do, with YouTube specifically, sadly have to adhere to these pathetic algorithm rulings which just drive me up the wall, to be honest with you. Like, I know General was just briefly talking about it, you know, regarding, you know, Gary always asked the question, what do you advise for a new upcoming starters to the world of FPL? And yeah, it's obvious answers, but the truth of the matter is that it is down to adhering to what YouTube want, which is basically releasing a video the same time on the same day of each week. Don't swear, as Davina McCall says on Bow Selector. Don't say fuck or bugger. Please don't say fuck or bugger. Can't swear. Can't do any of that. Got to be PC. And certainly, you know, with a small tin pot channel like ours, it just gets to the point of where it's almost like, well, we were doing this for the community and that just died off. And we started doing this for the community and that died off, and it just gets lost. And yeah, that's why I just prefer doing these conversation pieces with the likes of Shane and Ray, and because it is just, like I said, two mates chatting about a hobby which they enjoy. And I do agree with Shane that it does seem to have lost its soul. But again, there are so many factors that are involved in why. Like I said, I'm a cynical bastard. Really? I'm a cynical bastard. I don't blame FPL content per se, but I certainly think that's got a big part to play in the saturation of the market, and you know how it's like, you know, without wanting to repeat myself, just look at me, look how amazing I am. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just leave you with some pointless view of where I'm stood, where it's absolutely silence.